how long the product lasts, where we're putting it, why, what we're going to do on visit 1 compared to 2, compared to 3, compared to 4. They're not going to be able to tell me, okay? Or very little of them would be able to tell me those details. Although it's important to explain the service, like we're detailing here, what they're going to realize and what your job to do is explain enough so they understand and they believe that you're a professional. Like, okay, this person knows what they're talking about. Insight Pest Solutions is a legitimate pest control company. They're going to get rid of my pests. Okay, establish that with them, and then after that, the importance is more like the warranty, why we're coming 4 times, why we don't just do it 1 time, who do they call if they have an issue. That's the kind of using the contract as a sales tool, which maybe some of you guys have explored with your teams. Definitely should, managers, if you have not already. But yeah, explaining just like the surface level information, you're going to know so much more than the average homeowner who knows absolutely nothing. Okay? So I just want to summarize that. But thanks again, guys. Thank you, guys.
Ma partie expliquée, mais j'avais le fait pour moi.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, now up we have Eloi with Meeting the Need. Yes, sir. Eloi.
All right, awesome. So, maybe obviously you guys know obviously now like exactly what we're gonna do. Like Jordan said, I'm gonna try to like summarize it and speak more about the sales perspective. Obviously, I'm not going to customers and telling them that we're using Scorpio products and it's gonna be in, like, to be fair, I've never mentioned to a customer that we have liquid application inside the house. Never need to mention it. It's good to know. But there's a few things that you can like use your perspective and just to show you guys how to explain each part of the service when you actually at the customer's house. So, okay. Nice. So, obviously, when I'm doing my opening pitch, I'm already explaining and okay, yeah. So we're just gonna go into the meeting need. Okay, there you go. So for the first, obviously when you guys see the sales cycle, you've noticed that it goes from creating need into meeting need. Every sale you do is never going to be the same. You're not just like asking a bunch of questions, finishing that step and then going to meeting need and explaining the entire service. You're always like circling through that thing where you're talking about the carbon trends in the outside of the balcony, then you're mentioning about the liquid application we do around the home, and then you can go back to recreating need about the pavement nets and how you're going to put granularity outside. So just so you guys understand, when you're selling to customers, you're not just creating the need all at once, then meeting the need all at once, and then selling all at once. I think we're going to mention it later, but for example, closing, it's a process, not just an event just happen at once. All the sales cycle, you're always moving back and forth a little bit between each step. So for the liquid application, you'll have objections. For example, you'll say, we'll just do a liquid application around the home. We'll make sure the ants can't come inside the house, just a barrier. And usually they can sometimes give me the objection. They'll be like, you'll get anything from, I don't want this, it's chemicals, or it's gonna hurt my pet. What I like to do is always overcome these objections before they even happen. So I'll mention, we'll come out, do a liquid application around the home. It's pet friendly, so I know I saw the dogs. If I know he has a dog, I'll mention it before they even ask me about it. So I keep it simple. I'm not out there like, liquid application using this product. Like I keep it as simple as possible, and I always focus on the result, and I bring it back to what I talked about. If I was creating need on spiders, I'll focus on talking about how the liquid application is going to make sure the spiders can't go up into the eaves. I'm not going to start talking about the pavement nets if they have no pavement nets. So I'm really focusing on what I've already creating the need, and just meeting exactly that need specifically. In some cells, I know, like for example, Jordan, I know sometimes don't even talk about granulation to the outside. There's themselves. I don't even talk about the powders in the walls. I'm always customizing the service. As you guys saw, we do so many stuff. We do a ton of stuff. So each customer, treat them differently and customize your approach to that customers. And you're gonna get a ton of more sales that way. So that's just for the liquid application. It's mainly just a repellent. So it's not gonna kill the queen necessarily. It's not gonna kill the queen. Just making sure nothing gets inside the house.
How would you explain the liquid application to a customer?
Let's say they have like carpenter ants. What do they have?
Sure. Ants.
Sure. So let's say they have a carpenter ant.
After you're done,
Okay,
I just
yeah.
have like an analogy that I use.
Okay, yeah, sure. Let's say they have carpenter ants, a carpenter ant nest in the outside. What else? I'll talk quickly about how carpenter ants, they have during August, they can create activity. They can create, they can fly. They can have those flying ants, the queens. Those can get inside the house. Or I'll talk about how they can create satellite nests. Now these satellite nests, what they do, they're like humans. They want to keep expanding, like keep going inside either wall, like any kind of wood, either trees, balcony, or older houses that are 20, 30, 35 years old. Tell them, to the ants, doesn't matter if it's your home or a balcony, a deck, or a tree, we're trying to get inside. So all we're doing for John, we're just doing a liquid application on his home that will make sure nothing can get inside, even if they try to. So it's just gonna protect your home, which is obviously the most important part. And then after that, and then I'll circle back and I'll talk about, I don't know if that's the next slide, but I'll mention about the granulation, how we're gonna treat that exterior nets. George, is there something?
Yeah, just like, that's like good information that's necessary, but I always try to summarize it at the end with an analogy that's like a real life application, like a moat around your castle. Right? Like everyone, a castle, but like everyone knows what that is and what the point of it is to keep intruders out. So I find that helps a lot, just to kind of summarize it all and have them really just comprehend it at the end. That's the only one I can think of right now. But do you guys have experience with that? Other ones you guys use? Analogies?
En français, c'est genre le. C'est le
le
bouclier autour de la maison, c'est sûr qu'il n'y a rien rentre dans la structure.
C'est not une analogie, mais c'est une question par rapport aux fourmis charpentières. Si elles font pas de dommages qui sont irréversibles, est-ce qu'on peut dire, par exemple, si la maison est vieille, ils vont probablement vouloir faire des rénovations. Donc, si je mentionne le fait que est-ce que vous allez faire des rénovations bientôt? S'ils disent oui, ben, je peux leur dire les fourmis charpentières, si vous ne les traitez pas maintenant, ça va vous coûter des milliers de dollars additionnels pour traiter ça parce qu'ils ont fait des dommages structurels.
Juste au moins que tu dis que c'est possible et pas certain.
Right.
Parce qu'on ne sait pas pour certain s'il a la quelque chose comme grand dommage qu'il va trouver quand il fait des rénovations. Au moins que tu dis que c'est possible, bien sûr.
Cool. Yeah, so for dewebbing, that's like the spiders and the wasp treatment. So you guys kind of obviously have a good understanding of how it works. Super simple. What I'll tell the client, let's say they have spiders on their home. Obviously, I'm going to create meat. I'm going to ask him where are the spiders. Is it more of like I'll say like, I bet your wife doesn't love that issue. Because usually, my experience, the man.
Careful.
But like, I don't care about it, and usually the wife's like, I hate the spiders, so I'll try to play on that if I'm talking to only the man, or if it's the wife, I'll play on that.
For the record, in my household, it would be opposite. I'm the one who really doesn't like the spiders at all. I get grossed out by them, and my partner Joanne, she doesn't mind them at all, so we're the exact opposite. But, point taken.
Okay, cool. And then obviously, I'll look at the spiders. I'll go in the back. It's just between you guys not to do this. And I'll tell you, so super simple what we're doing. For spiders, obviously, I'll explain the liquid application so the spiders from the outside don't come up. And we'll take down all the spider webs around the home. So we have this gigantic Q-tip. Texture's gonna come around, take down the spider webs. It's not gonna be a cleaning service. Like your home is not gonna look better. We'll take down all the spider webs and we'll put a little powder that will make sure the spiders don't come back again. So.
Good thing to touch on. So when we're explaining the service, should we over-explain it or under-explain it?
Under, always. Unless they ask for more information. I'm the type of person that always like wants, okay, what kind of products? But most customers, they don't care. They just want the result. Hey, we'll take on the spider webs. They're not gonna come back. Cool. So you think on the next slide, like the powder we put in the walls. You saw the technician explained it. We put in the water tank. We put in the sink. I just thought customers would put a powder in the walls. It's gonna take down the ants, take down the nest, make sure nothing comes inside the walls. That's simple. If they're like, oh, how are you going to put in the walls? Great, they're asking me questions, they're engaging. Now I'm going to answer them, give them a little bit more information. If they want more information, they can ask me another question. That keeps the conversation going. Instead of me just saying like, yeah, we'll do this, making it extremely clear and talking for like 5 minutes and having not a one-way conversation. I'd rather keep it a little more ambiguous. If they want to ask me questions, they can ask me questions.
5 to 10 minutes for me in this section.
Okay.
10 minutes tops.
It's only the first one, right?
It is, but just let you know.
Okay. Like I said, that's the wall void dusting. In French, I like to say la purification des murs intérieurs. That's the word I use. What do you use, Phil? What are you laughing at? Flush out, yeah. So flush out. Poudre dans les murs. Moi, je me dis purification parce que ça fait, ça purifie l'intérieur de la maison. Et
Moi, j'aime ça dire que ça donne une deuxième vie au mur.
ça donne une deuxième vie au mur. T'as toutes les phrases. Hakim, qu'est-ce que c'est déjà? Purifier les murs, là. C'est ce que moi j'utilise aussi. Mais regarde, c'est simple. Je suis pas en train de dire qu'on va venir en dessous de l'évier puis on vient mettre la poudre. Pas de la première fois, je garde ça super simple. Ouais, donc, pour les nids de fourrure charpentée dans la maison, tout ce qu'on fait, c'est qu'on va juste mettre de la poudre dans les murs. On s'assure que rien rentre dans la structure. C'est bon pendant 2 à 3 ans. Donc, c'est un petit effet sur le long terme. Super simple. Puis souvent, tu peux jouer aussi des fois, si c'est une vieille maison. Tu sais, la maison depuis 50 ans, ça fait 50 ans qu'il y a des bébites, des centipèdes, des millipèdes qui rentrent dans la maison. Tout ce qu'on fait de nous faire, comme ça devient une deuxième vie à la maison, on sort toute cette activité de la maison, on laisse la maison respirer mieux qu'avant. Right? Awesome. Bait station, ça c'est juste pour les, obviously, comme vous pouvez voir, les souris. Moi je garde ça super simple, je fais juste tomber des boîtes autour de la maison sur le monde des souris. Juste expliquer que, oh, sorry, switch back to English, please. So these are just the mice bait stations. I'll tell the customers, so yeah, so if you have the mice around the home, obviously I've already created need. Tell them we'll put a few around the home, whatever we need, depending on what the technician. So I'm not, like we said earlier, not saying to customers, yeah, we'll put one here, we'll put one here, we'll put one there. You guys obviously have no idea where we're going to put the bait stations. You can have a certain idea, but you don't know specifically. Just say you'll put a few around the home. Obviously, it's up to the technician discretion to decide where they want them. They know best. They've done all the training. They know how to treat them. So just say a few. And if you don't know, just say, yeah, the technician's going to come, he's going to do his inspection, and he's going to put how many things he needs to treat the issue.
Yeah, write that down, because that is such a good tagline when you guys don't know something, which is going to be quite often at the start. You don't want to say, I don't know, because that doesn't look professional. You don't want to lie to them and tell them wrong information just to sound good. Can you repeat what you said? Because that is a go-to tagline that I still use quite a bit as well. Can you repeat that?
Yeah, sure. I'll tell the customers. My tech's the one who's been doing this for many years. He's done all the proper training. You can ask him. He's going to know exactly how to treat this kind of issue. I can't tell you exactly where we'll put the baits. He's more of the real professional who knows exactly how to treat it. So when he'll do his inspections, he's going to know where to put his stuff and how to resolve your issue.
Yeah, to the tech's discretion.
Tech's discretion.
When would it be okay to promise a customer how many bait stations we'll use?
Never. You can't do it.
Well, it's funny, like we mentioned that, but those are the sorts of things that get us in trouble on the sales side of things, right? We make promises to customers. So they'll be like, can you use 5 bait stations? Yep. You just want to get the sale. Yep, we'll use 5 for sure. Can you put 10 I've done it. So I did this many years ago. I was like, oh yeah, we'll put at least 10 spikes for the ant stations on the outside of the house, because we have outside ant stations too. I think that here and Daniel showed those, right? The little green spikes that go on the ground. I'm like, yep, we can do 10 of them for sure. And sure enough, what happens? I get in trouble because they go there and it's like, oh, the sales guy promised you would do this, that, and the other. We want to promise results. That's what we can promise. What we don't promise is specifics of exactly what we're going to do where, because I don't even know. Eloi doesn't even know. Jordan doesn't even know. That is the technician's job to determine that. We make all the promises in the world about results, all good. We don't promise specifics on exactly what we're going to do where and how many, because that's how we get ourselves into trouble, where the customer says, oh, the salesman lied to me, or the saleswoman lied to me. You didn't lie, you were wrong, but that's how people perceive it, right? If the tech shows up and now they're saying something different than you, they're going, well, what? Well, why is one person telling me one thing and the other person the other? The easiest thing, just don't put yourself in that situation. Promise all the results you want. Just don't promise specifics on what we're going to do, where, and how many.
Sure, so yeah. So simply again, the way I explain this, I'll just tell the customers that we'll put a few black boxes, always showing and telling. So I'll show them on binder exactly what we're putting. That you guys all have when you're ready to have images with that. And then I'll say, the way it works, super simple. Mice is gonna come, it's gonna eat that, it's gonna get super dehydrated, run for source of water, it's gonna die in the source of water. It's gonna drown in the source of water. That's it. Keep it super simple. I'm always focusing on the result of the service. I'm never mentioning I'm mentioning some characteristics, but I'm not mentioning all the characteristics. Thank you. Let exclusion work. So this is good for both mice and centipedes, whatever, spiders, ants. So the way it works is I'll just say, all these little holes, you have the weep holes, anything that like gives access to the ants from inside the house, we'll give it a second life, like Cesar was saying earlier. We'll just not block. The word I use is we'll protect. You don't want to say blocked. Some of these holes are important. They let obviously the home breathe. We'll just protect the home, put some copper mesh, put some caulking around the home, make sure nothing can get inside your structure.
What time of the year do we do that?
That's in the fall usually.
Fall or winter service. So we do not do any of that sealing of entry points or blocking of entry points. We don't do that on first or second services. That's going to be done in the fall or winter visit because it's when it gets colder out that those things are trying to get in. Right? So that's the time of year that we actually want to focus on that. And they have so many other things that they need to focus on those summertime or springtime services that they also don't have time to do it. But it's also the wrong time of year for it. So just, again, talking about setting good expectations, that's the fall or winter visit. Well, Jordan, what if the customer really wants that on the first visit? Not the right time of year for it. It's not what we're doing. We don't have time, and it's the wrong time to do it. Well, they have mice. They don't want them to get in. Sure, we'll use bait stations, we'll use traps, but that entry point sealing with the mesh and the sealant that they were explaining to us earlier, that's fall or winter.
So quickly, the way I explain this, we got some slides, but let's say you have the person has mice. Oh, well, why can't you do this in the first visit? Well, I need to get the mice outside the house. If I block them, they're going to be stuck inside the house. They're going to rot in there. That's not great. So we'll put first visit, second visit, we're getting them out of the house. Once temperature drops below 0 and at night, that's when we'll start doing the copper mesh. So ant bait spikes and I guess the granulation. Super simple. I just tell customers we'll put granulation around the home. We'll put a few spikes. The way it works, super simple. The ants, they pick that up, bring that back to the queen, kills the queen. No queen, no more ants. It's that simple. Keep it very brief. And then the exterior inspection. Technicians every yes, every technician is going to do an inspection on the home and he's going to let customers know, if they have a client that brings more ants or anything that brings more activity.
A quick note on entry point sealing. Not only is it done in the fall or winter, holes up to the size of a toonie. Okay, so if it's a big hole like this, we're not going to come and seal that. That's too large. Up to the size of a toonie and must be accessible standing on the ground. We do not have our technicians with ladders. They are not certified for heights, so they do not go up to high levels. Now, if they have wasps' nests up high or spiders or whatever, no problem. They've got the long pole, but they will only do entry point sealing. Areas that are accessible standing on the ground up to the size of a toonie, and only at what time of year? The fall or the winter.
So, good question.
I saw your hand, but I'm trying to move on. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Man, so just on the topic of caulking, right?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, it's the size of a toonie, and they really wanted to know, are you going to do it on the autumn or are you going to do it in the winter? Which one would you suggest?
Technician.
Technician discretion.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I can't answer that. But we won't have any problem doing it in the fall. If that's when they want it done, especially if it's for rodent entry points. Fall, winter time, no big deal at all.
So when you're selling the service, like I said earlier, you're not saying everything like in a span of 5 minutes about the entire service. You've lost all your ammo. What I like to do is I'll say bits of the service, and when they give me objections later on, obviously cell cycle, I'm circling back, recreating need. I'm re-mentioning stuff about the service that I didn't mention. Okay, so that's where I'm mentioning stuff like the re-service warranty. The way I explain that visit is very simple. I'll tell them not every home is the same. Some homes have more activity than others. So if you have still after 2 weeks, if you still have ants, no problem. We'll come back for free. And if after that first visit you still have activity again, obviously I don't want you to pay for a service that doesn't work. We'll come out a second time. If it still doesn't work, well then I want you to pay for a service that doesn't work. We'll just give you back your money. That's simple.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. That's about it.
That's fine.
Cool.
Okay. Thank you, Eloi.
Okay. Yep. Yeah, we can.